Pete, excited then for the FA Youth Cup first round, always a special part of the season, and you must be looking forward to the opportunity to play that game.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. The players certainly more so. It's always a fixture that they look out for when the draw is done. To be fair to them, they've been very focused on the next game, whether that's been their work experience games or 18s games. Having Portsmouth cancelled at the weekend kind of gave us a bit more time to focus on tomorrow's game, which is good. Had a lot of players in this week with it being half term as well, so we've been able to do more work on the grass, which is nice, and there's definitely a real buzz around the players. They always look forward to it, they're always excited. They've hit a good bit of form in the terms of the way they're playing, so hopefully they're peaking at a good time. But yeah, very excited group of players.
Yeah, and for many of these lads, they would have been part of the youth setup for a long, long time, all the way from the younger age groups. Now they're getting their chance to play at the highest level for the youth setup in the FA Youth Cup and at the stadium. So this is almost a reward, but also an opportunity for those guys.
Yeah, it's certainly a pinnacle fixture in terms of under-18s academy football. It's something that they would have looked forward to. They strive to play in that sort of game. Something that we've been very keen on the players is trust the process. There'll be some disappointed players who aren't involved. There'll also be players who maybe didn't expect to be involved and are involved. So yes, it is the pinnacle of sort of academy 18s football, but it's just a great opportunity. A lot of them would have been involved in floodlit fixtures, whether that's the Under-15s Floodlit Cup, 16s and 17s Floodlit Cup this year. So all of those have been really good tests, gearing them up for playing under the lights of the Jonny-Rocks, which also always provides a different challenge that players aren't so used to. But hopefully, with the lads either been on work experience or in the floodlit competitions when they were younger, hopefully they're in a good position to go and attack tomorrow night and enjoy it for the good occasion that it is.
Yeah, you mentioned it there, and we've spoken about it before. It's all these different tasks and challenges you're setting your young players so they're prepared for when they play senior football.
Yeah.
And so does this competition differ to all the usual EFL Youth Alliance stuff and the various friendlies and reserve team games that they're normally involved in?
Yeah, most definitely. The Youth Alliance Games programme is very up and down in terms of who you're playing it up against. Teams vary week to week in terms of ages or abilities or the squad matrix and things like that. Certainly we've been very, very young this year. When you then go into the FA Youth Cup, teams want to win that competition, want to win their games. So there's definitely more of an emphasis on winning and performing to win, and putting out players in their best position to go and win the game. So there's almost that added pressure. We as a club, we're not putting pressure on the players saying they have to win. Trust the process, trust everything they've been doing, and if they do that, then they give a good account of themselves, and that's really important. The players want to win, and I think there is that more drive and desire to do that, more so because it is a cup competition, because it's a knockout. They're aware that a lot of club staff are watching, they're aware that fans are going to be there, but hopefully we've prepared them well enough to be able to deal with that pressure through the programme that they've been through, where they're able to treat it as another game of football. They're able to do what they need to do to compete and hopefully win, and hopefully they're in a good place to be able to do that.
Yeah, for clubs outside the Football League to get to this stage of the FA Youth Cup is a fantastic effort, because of course they have to start quite early on in the qualification rounds, and that's exactly the case for your opponents, Eastleigh.
Yep. So
you're fully expecting, I know you've watched them and seen them play, you're fully expecting them to be a really tough outfit. You're going to give it a massively good go, and will be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, definitely. I think outside looking in, people would say that they should be the underdogs, with us being a professional setup in terms of a Category 3 academy. But I think it's very difficult to have that with cup competitions, cup games. It's who can perform well on the day, who can deal with all the different pressures, who can perform their game in the right way to affect the opposition better. So I know they'll certainly come and be very competitive. From the games that we've watched, they have been very competitive. So I think our players are looking forward to the fact it's a different challenge. Some of the other games, some of the other draws, it's been against teams that they play week in, week out, and lads have played for the last 6 years their academy programme, whereas it was actually quite nice to get a team that we haven't played before, because the lads are looking forward to it. I think our lads will really embrace the challenge of the unknown, of not really knowing too much about Eastleigh. But yeah, it's going to be great for them, great experience for all of us, and fingers crossed our players are able to do what they need to do to get the win and go on to Pompey.
In the same way, a few years ago, people like Grant Horton played as an under-16s in this competition. You've got under-16s involved again, so an amazing opportunity for those guys to try and prove themselves. Yeah,
definitely. A lot of them have been involved with the youth team through pre-season and our games programme. It's a great opportunity for them in their development. It gives them another year ahead, if that makes sense, in terms of pushing them, so that if and when they're offered a scholarship and take it, we're looking at men's programme for them in their scholarship year. And that's what we're trying to do. We're really trying to expose players younger and younger, because we don't have the opportunity to bridge the gap much to the 23. So at the end of their scholarship, are they able to go and play step 3, step 2 football a big part of that is games like tomorrow night. You've got 15-year-olds playing, and are they able to cope with the demands of 18-year-olds? Because if they are, great. When we know that they're a 16, 17-year-old, we'll be able to chuck them into the next challenge and the next challenge. So the games programme they would have had all the way throughout their academy career as such would have been floodlit games, would have been competitive games under lights. So hopefully they're able to deal with that. And it's a case of turning up, trusting their process, trusting what they've done, trusting the work they do day in, day out, and converting it to a performance on the pitch.
And from a timing perspective, it's worked out quite nicely that it's half term. So you've had those under-16s in training with you over the last couple of days. So has that worked out quite nicely in terms of being able to work on things with them?
Yeah, really nice. I mean, we had 21, 22 players today. Our normal training week we have 10 or 11 because of the small scholarship group that we have. So it's been really great to do some different work, do some perhaps more some tactical work, but also just getting the bodies in the building and them getting experience of what it's like. The scholars set a great example of how to lead a scholarship life and how to train and turn up every day to work, because it is work. Make sure they walk in the door, get work done, and they get the reward of their rest or their day off. So it's been great having them in the building. It's been great for the first years and second years as well, because we've been able to do more work with them. Because naturally with more bodies comes different training sessions, different plans, and also slightly more competition. Three team games and things like that. There's been a lot of competition, a lot of drive to win in training, and hopefully that drive to win is there on show tomorrow night.